Hey guys, Fishin N Stuff. Today we're making two awesome PVC projects. So stick around. I made a DIY a while back about a rod holder that goes in the back of your pickup truck. The video did pretty good, people seem to like it, and then I made a video about some PVC DIYs. And people really seem to like that too. So today, I'm doing a couple of different rod holders for your truck, made out of PVC. That's easy to make and they're affordable. Speaking of DIYs, if you like DIYs, go check out my channel page. I have a long list of DIYs that'll help you save money. And if you like them, click subscribe and click the bell so that YouTube will notify you when I post videos and you can watch them. So let's get this show on the road. PVC project number one. I bought a bunch of different kinds of fittings. I bought some T's, some 90s, some end caps. Actually, these ain't T's, these are crosses, I guess. They're four-way. Depending on which one you build, that will determine what parts you need. Don't buy that cheap thin PVC for this project. And I bought some rebar, and you'll see what that's for a little bit later. All right, on this first rod rack, I wanted flat end caps, but I couldn't find them. But I got these. But these are made to go inside of a joint, and then you can stick it on the end of the PVC. But if you can just find flat end caps, it'll be even better. I've got 6 T's, and each one of these T's will be for how many rods you want to put on it. I got a piece of 1.5 PVC, some cement. You're gonna need 4 nuts, which I got the 5/16 nuts. And I got 4 5/16 bolts. These are 1 inch long. Those bolts are gonna bolt your end cap to a piece of steel. And the steel is gonna be just like the rod rack I made out of conduit that works with your track system in your truck. You're gonna need a piece of steel, and this is 4 inches wide. You can use a piece of aluminum if you want, but steel's stronger and cheaper. And I'm going to be painting mine, so there's really no point in using aluminum. That's totally up to you. The first thing we need to do is space out our T's. Each one of these T's is going to be a rod and reel. And we need to figure out how far we want to space our reels apart so they don't bang into each other. I'll probably use the same measurements I used on this rod rack here. If you hadn't seen this video, go check it out. I think each piece in between the T's was 4 inches long. These T's are bigger than the other ones. From center to center, without anything in between it, is 5 inches. If I place a coupling in between them, the spacing looks about perfect. So we measure this, see how far the PVC goes inside of it, and add that to each side. You'll need to check your own PVC for that. I decided to use 7 rod holders instead of 6. And in order to get 7, I need to have 2.5 inches in between each T-joint. But to get 2.5 inches, I'm gonna have to cut them 4.5 inches because 1 inch goes inside of each joint. So each one of these I'm cutting 4.5 inches. But I can't tell you what to do on your truck. Everybody's truck bed is going to be a different size. Mine is 56.5 inches wide. I have a Toyota Tacoma. Measure your truck bed and adjust it to fit yours. Okay, I got my 6 pieces cut that'll go in between of my 7 couplings or T-joints, whatever you want to call them. When you're cutting PVC, some PVC cutters are really handy. Mine are old and wore out and need sharpening or something. I ain't never tried to sharpen them, but these things are really handy if you work with PVC a lot. Now, I'm gonna glue all this together. Okay, I got all of this glued together. It's the majority of the rod rack. Somehow I got 1.25 inch joint mixed in when I was shopping, and don't do that. That don't work. When you're gluing these together, use your table. You want them all to be like level with each other when you're done. So use your table. Make sure they all touch the table. If you don't have a table, get a piece of concrete or something hard and level. That way you can make sure all of them are straight. Now that we got this glued together, the only thing left we have to do is, my truck is 56.5 inches across. So now all we really have to do is space out these ends to make it exactly 56.5 inches, and it should fit right in there. Now this first rod holder I'm making, I'm mounting it to the track system of my truck. Well, my wheel well is right here. The most that it can drop down is 7 inches. So I'm going to drop it down 7 inches so I don't hit the wheel well. I want it down as low as I can get it so the rod holders can come up. I did the other rod rack I made the same exact way. That's what the 4-inch steel pieces are for. We're going to cut 7-inch pieces, make it drop down so we can recess it down into the truck. This is the piece of steel I'm going to use to drop my rod holder down in my truck. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of steel off 7 inches long with a grinder and a cutoff wheel. So basically, after you get your rod holder set up the way you want them, you have your end caps that you're going to use to bolt to your plate. Well, you're going to use a filler piece, and my filler piece is almost 3.5 inches. When you stick it in, you lose some of it. You just have to figure out how much more distance you need to fill the width of your truck bed. Mine, like I said, is almost 3.5 inches. And then when I put my cap on and glue it all together, it should be the same width as my truck bed. Then we can put our plates on. I'm gonna go ahead and glue those on, and we need to drill our holes in our plate. We got everything glued on this rod rack, but our end caps. End caps is all we need to put on. Most of it's done. But our end caps we can't glue on right away. We gotta drill 2 holes in them, down inside of them. Then we're gonna have to replicate those holes onto our plate. We're going to bolt this end cap onto the plate, and then we'll glue it all on there together, and then it'll be ready to install on the truck. Up at the top of this end plate, we're going to have to drill 2 holes for our T-bolts to bolt into. Okay, I got my 4 holes drilled in the top of my plate. This is for my track system on my truck. And the bolt will run through these plates and go into the T-bolt. I'll put a link on Amazon where you can get these. I mean, you can get them for Tacoma on there, and I'm sure you can get them for any truck with a track system. Now on the bottom down here, the end cap, I drilled 2 holes in it. And just stay off the edges so your bolt will fit in there right. We'll put our PVC cap on here, mark out our holes. We'll bolt this cap onto this plate. We just bolted our end caps onto this, and it's pretty dang solid. Now that we got our end caps bolted on, now we can just glue them into the end of the rail. The most important thing when you're gluing it in is getting the angle of the tube right. It's going to hang straight on the truck like that. So you want to make sure when you glue it in, you got your angle of your tube where you need it to be. I'm gonna glue one side in, let it dry, and I'll use that side to get the other side straight. Here's a little tip, guys. If you lay this on the floor and get it where the metal's laying flat, line this side up with the other side by laying it flat. That way when you glue them both on, they'll be parallel with each other. All right, the next part will be how long do we want our tubes to be? I kind of like the way this rack turned out. I made the tubes on it like 8 inches tall, I think. So I'm thinking 9 inches will be plenty. I think I'll go 10 inches. Okay, we got this thing put together. Got all our tubes in, got our ends on. Now we're ready to bolt it up to the truck and see how it works. But first, we need to paint it. I got some cheap paint from the Home Depot, or the Home Depot for y'all grammar critics out there. And we're gonna spray it down and make it look a little bit better. And then we're gonna bolt her up and see how it turned out. You get these T-nuts, they sell them on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description box below, but this is what they look like. This little bracket on your track, you slide it out. You take one of your T-nuts and you just slide it in there and it slides up your rail. Then you snap your little plastic bracket back in. You slide it on up the rail where you want it. I use 2 on each side on this build. But they make several different kinds. They make stainless steel. They make blued ones like this one. I mean, and they're all different prices. PVC project number 2. Alright, the next rod rack we're working on, we're still using 1.5 PVC, still using schedule 40, but it's going to be a little bit different. This rod rack, we're making to go in the bed of the truck for the people that don't have tracks on their bed. In order to get 6 rod holders and 42 inches of space, I think I'm going to have to cut these inside pieces 3¼ inch on my truck. Everybody's truck's gonna be different. You're gonna have to measure your truck and figure out your spacing. I'm gonna do 3¼ and that should give me about 1¼ in between each one of these. And that's gonna get me pretty close to 42 inches. I glued it all together and it come out about right. It gives me just a little over 6 inches in between my reels. This main section is 34 inches. With these ends, I'm gonna have to cut a little piece and fix it where it butts up against my wheel well. So what I did to get my angles the same on both sides on these 90°, I just stuck a little piece of PVC in there. And that way I could line my angles up. I'm not using these pieces. I just did this to get my nannies right. I'm gonna cut some 10-inch rod tubes for the rods to go in now. Cut my legs that come off of the rod holder down the side of the wheel well at 32 inches. I'm gonna put a T on them and I'm gonna go across so I can hook the back side of it together, and the front side will be one piece. But if I don't make this side one piece, I'm afraid it's gonna be kind of floppy. It's PVC. I'm gonna cut my rebar so I can stick it up in these legs and add some weight to it to make it more stable. I brought it out here to lay it in the truck and kind of show you what I mean. You see how the wheel well ends here? I'm gonna bring a piece over to touch the side of the bed right here and put a cap on it. That way it can't rock back and forth so much. And it kind of stays in that lip right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and extend the end here out to the tailgate. And that'll hold that thing solid. And I got rebar to go inside of it to make it heavy, but the more I add to this thing, the heavier it keeps getting. May not have even needed the rebar, honestly. I went ahead and finished my side pieces. You see how it goes over to that wall? It goes behind the wheel well to this wall, and then it comes up against the tailgate really tight, and this thing won't even move. I mean, it's when you close the tailgate, everything's so tight, it's solid. So I don't even think you need the rebar actually, but you can put it in it, make it a little heavier. I kind of like the way it turned out. Those rod racks turned out awesome. Hey guys, if you liked the video, click the like button. And don't forget to check out my channel page. I've got a lot of DIYs on there. And if you like what you see, click subscribe. I'll see you on the next build.